Solar DC cables are one of the very important components of a solar PV rooftop project. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to select and size the correct DC cable for the project. Hi, welcome to SolarTech Sarthi. In this video, we'll discuss on how to select and size a DC cable for your solar PV rooftop project. DC string cables act as a medium between solar PV modules and the grid connected inverters. The DC currents and the voltages as generated by the solar PV modules flows via these cables to the DC side of the inverter. Now the question comes why the selection and sizing of these solar DC cables is so important. The selection and sizing of the DC cables is important because these cables undergo and operate at a very high DC voltages in the range of 600 volt to 1000 volts. These DC cables are exposed to UV radiations and very harsh environments. The DC cables also comes in contact with the sharp edges of the structure or the cable trays. Now let's see what are the properties of a DC string cables. As per the Indian and international standards, the DC cables should have bare minimum properties as listed here. They should be suitable for DC applications. They should be UV resistant. They should be double insulated. They should be made of flexible multi-stranded conductors. And the voltage rating of the cable should be equal to or greater than the PV array maximum voltage. Now let's see the sizing of solar DC string cables. The sizing of solar DC string cables depends on two factors: the current carrying capacity of the DC cable and the voltage drop of the DC cable. Let's see how to calculate the required current carrying capacity of your project. If the overcurrent protection device, that is the fuses or the DC MCBs, are installed in the string or provided in the string design, then the minimum required current carrying capacity of the DC cable should be equal to the current rating of that overcurrent protection device. On the other hand, if the overcurrent protection device or the fuses or the DC MCBs are not installed or not provided in the DC string design, then for single string arrays, the minimum current carrying capacity should be equal to 1.25, that is a safety factor, multiplied by the ISC, the short circuit current of the cable. For multiple string arrays, the current carrying capacity should be equal to 1.25, again that is the safety factor, multiplied by the short circuit current and multiplied by n minus 1. This n is the total number of parallel strings. For example, if you have 4 strings, then the n would be equal to 4. We have to be specify here that while calculating the current carrying capacity, we are considering the short circuit current of the solar PV modules. Now let's have an example for this. Let's calculate the current carrying capacity of a DC cable where the short circuit current of the module is 8.5 amperes. We have a overcurrent protection device here. The fuse rating there is 15 ampere. It is a single string configuration. As seen in the formula before, the required current carrying capacity in the case where the overcurrent protection device is provided should be equal to the current carrying rating of the device, the overcurrent protection device. So in this case, where we have a 15 ampere fuse, the current rating of the DC cable, that is the minimum current carrying capacity of the DC cable that we need to select, should be equal to or more than 15 ampere. It should not be less than 15 ampere. Let's have a look at the second example here. Now in this case, we don't have a overcurrent protection device. We have a module with a short circuit current rating of 8.5 amperes and it is directly connected to the inverter. And it is a single string array configuration. Again, as seen in the formula, here the required current carrying capacity of the DC cable would be 1.25, that was the safety factor, multiplied by the short circuit current, that is 8.5 ampere in this case. So the minimum current carrying capacity in this case would be 10.6 ampere. Let's have a third example here. Now in this case we have multiple string arrays. So we have shown two strings here, string 1, string 2. The modules are having same short circuit current, that is 8.5 amperes, and we don't have a overcurrent protection device here. So again, as seen in the formula, here the current carrying capacity of the DC cable would be 1.25, that is a safety factor, multiplied by ISC, that is a short circuit current of a module, that is 8.5 ampere in our case, and N minus 1. N is the total number of strings. In our case, we have two strings, so N is equal to 2. So calculating that, the answer is 10.6 ampere here. So the required current carrying capacity in this case is minimum 10.6 amperes. Now another factor is voltage drop that need to be considered while sizing and selection of a solar DC cables. Now the voltage drop has to be calculated by this formula. Voltage drop in percentage is given by I, that is the current, multiply by the R, that is the resistance, multiply by 100 to convert it into percentage, divided by VMP of the array. Now one thing we have to note here is, as we specified while calculating the current carrying capacity, we are considering the short circuit current of the PV module. But while considering the voltage drop, or by calculating the voltage drop, we have to consider the IMP of the module, that is the maximum power point current. So all these values you can get from the data sheet of the solar PV modules. R is the resistance in ohms at 90 degrees Celsius that need to be calculated. Most of the cable manufacturers, they provide the value of resistance in their data sheets, but they provide the resistance at 20 degrees Celsius. But we know that in solar applications, our cable has to undergo a very higher temperatures. So we need to correlate and calculate that resistance that is given at 20 degrees Celsius in the data sheet to a value of 90 degrees Celsius, that is a higher temperature there. VMP of array is the total voltage of a module multiplied by the total number of modules in a string. That again need to be calculated. We'll see those things in the examples. Now as per the international and Indian best practices, voltage drop at the DC side should not be more than 2 to 3%. So while sizing the cable, this is a factor that we need to be very careful, that the voltage drop never exceeds 2 to 3%. That is what is acceptable in the Indian and international standards. As discussed, the temperature correction of the resistance has to be done. It is always given in the range of 20 degree to 30 degrees Celsius on the data sheets, that need to be changed to the higher temperature ranges of, let's say, 90 degrees Celsius. So for that we can use this formula. R, that is the resistance in ohms per kilometer at final temperature, is equal to R ohms per kilometer at initial temperature. Now here final temperature would be 90 degree. Initial can be 20, 30, whatever is given in the data sheet. Multiply 1 plus temperature coefficient of resistance, and then again in brackets final temperature minus initial temperature. So this formula can be used. We'll see again how to use this formula in the example in the later slides. Temperature coefficient of resistance for copper is 0.0040. Now let's have a look at the example. Sizing of a DC cable. Here we have a module that has a short circuit current of 8.5 ampere. The fuse rating, that means we have a overcurrent protection device installed in a string, that is 15 ampere fuse. It's a single string array configuration. It is also given that 10 modules in series are given in this particular example. So we have 10 modules connected in series in a string. Module characteristics: voltage at MPPT level, that is VMP voltage of the module is 37 volt. IMP, that is the current at MPPT volt, is 8 amperes. ISC, that is the short circuit current of the module, is 8.5 amperes. Overcurrent protection, we have already discussed, 15 ampere of a fuse is installed at the string level. Module to inverter distance is 30 meters in this case. So the very first step is to calculate the current carrying capacity of the cable, and from the data given by the design team we know that the overcurrent protection device is already installed or planned in the system. So the required current carrying capacity of the string cable is equal to the current carrying capacity or the current rating of the overcurrent protection device, that is 15 ampere in this particular case. Now 15 ampere is the required current carrying capacity of the DC string cable. Now we need to check the available current ratings of the cable that is available commercially. Now we have to check the data sheet of the DC cable. So now let's check. This is the data sheet of one of the cable that is available in the market. We can see here the current rating of 55 amperes is given in the data sheet. The size of the cable that we have selected for this is 4 square mm DC cable. You can see here 4 is the cross-sectional area. This is the cable size 4 square mm. This is a single core 4 square mm cable, DC cable. Now these are different properties of the cable. So we have check the DC current here already that we have to use for this. Also, the DC conductor resistance in ohms per kilometer is given as 5.09 at 20 degrees Celsius. So we'll be using this value later in the example. So again, this is one core 4 square mm DC cable. This is the annealed tinned copper flexible cable. Now, as seen in the data sheet, the current carrying capacity of the cable is 55 amperes. So now since the current carrying capacity of the available cable, that is 55 ampere, is more than the required current carrying capacity, that was 15 amperes. So for this particular example, we can easily select the 4 square mm DC cable. Just to remind, we have only qualified the first criteria to select and size the DC cable, that was current carrying capacity. The second criteria, that is the voltage drop, still need to be calculated. Now in the second step, we need to correct the resistance of the cable. So we have seen again in the data sheet that the resistance was given as 5.09 ohm per kilometer at 20 degrees Celsius. So the temperature at which the resistance in the cable data sheet was provided was at 20 degrees Celsius. So we need to calculate that at a 90 degree Celsius temperature, that is a higher temperature for that. So for calculating that, we'll use a higher temperature formula here. So resistance at 90 degrees Celsius is equal to 5.09, that is the initial resistance, then multiply by 1 plus 0.0040, that is the temperature coefficient for copper, and then 90 minus 20 again is the resistance values, temperature values. So the correct resistance for higher temperature value is 6.52 ohm per kilometer. So now we have to use this 6.52 ohm per kilometer in our example. Now to calculate the resistance for the total length, because in the voltage drop formula the resistance that need to be added in the formula was in ohms and not in ohms per kilometer. So we need to multiply by the total length of the circuit here. So module to inverter distance was given as 30 meters. Now note that this is the inverter to module distance and this is not the cable length that is given. Since we need to know the complete circuit length, we have to add the cable length or the distance of both positive and negative, that is red and black cables. So the cable length, that is positive plus negative, would be 30 plus 30, that is 60 meter. One thing you need to check here is, if the distance of module to inverter is given, then you need to calculate the cable length by adding both or by multiplying by 2. And if the case that the designer or the site surveyor is giving you the total cable length that includes the positive and the negative cables, then you don't have to double that. You don't have to multiply that 2 times, right? Also, this is the cable that you are adding from the last module to the inverter. The modules are already having 2 cables, a positive and negative. Usually the length is 1 meter each. So that also need to be calculated or added into the voltage drop calculation. So the cable length attached with the modules is 2 meter for each module. From the example, we know that we have 10 modules connected in series. So the total cable length will be 10 into 2, that is 20 meters. So the total cable length here is 60 meter that we have externally added, 20 meter that is already with the module. So total 80 meters, or we can say 0.08 kilometer is the total cable length that need to be used for the voltage drop calculation. So we know that total resistance in ohms per kilometer at 90 degrees Celsius was 6.52 ohm per kilometer, and then multiply it by the total length in kilometers 0.080. So we'll get total resistance in ohms at 90 degrees Celsius, that is 0.521 ohm. Now this is a resistance value that can be directly put into the voltage drop calculation formula. Now step 3 is to calculate the VMP of array. Again, from the datasheet we know that VMP of the module given to us is 37 volts. The number of modules in series is 10. In series the voltage adds up, so the total VMP of the array is 37 into 10, that is 370 volts. Now again this value would be directly added into the voltage drop calculation formula. So the final stage is the voltage drop calculations. So we'll add the values in the formula. Voltage drop in percentage, that is multiply by 8 is the IMP, multiply by 0.521 was the resistance value that we calculated for the total length and at 90 degrees Celsius temperature. 100 is for percentage value. 370 is the VMP of the array. So by calculating that we get voltage drop in percentage as 1.12%. Now since the voltage drop of the selected cable, that is 4 square mm in this case, is less than the 2%, and the current carrying capacity was also in the required range, so we can easily select a 4 square mm cable for this particular example. Now let's say if you have an example where the voltage drop by calculating using the above formula is coming, let's say 3.5 percentage. Now in that case you need to select a higher current rating cable, that is a 6 square mm cable in that case. So very easy, two steps you need to calculate. One is your current carrying capacity, another is your voltage drop. If both the conditions are satisfied, you can easily select that cable. So thank you for watching our video. If you like the video, do share with your network. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such videos. The article is also present on our website. The link of the same is given in the description below. If you have any questions or any concerns relating to the video, do write to us.